Namaste, beautiful people. Thank you so much as always for joining me on the mat for another day of yoga every single day. We're going to be feeling fabulous by the end, experiencing so many benefits of all the different things that yoga can bring to our sense of well-being. So hopefully we're already on our way, our journey to experiencing those. Today's little journey we're going to make, I thought it'd be nice to do a really super deep stretch. Alright, so let's go. Shoes off, it's Barefoot Yoga, and grab a hunk of floor, get ready to rock, and let's begin. You're going to start by lying down on your back, so spin it round, and we're just going to curl ourselves down. Have the knees bent, lift up your hips and drop them down. Feel like your chin is in towards your chest, lift up the shoulders. So you're really just getting comfy here, guys. It may take, you don't have to go still immediately. Take a little while and feel your body, feel your back, keeping the knees bent. So we're just going to check in first before we get into this. So let's just take a couple of breaths. Really keep your face really soft. You can close your eyes, your jaw, you're kind of smiling to yourself because you're here. The rest is easy from here, you guys. So just when we do our super stretch today, be kind to yourself. Invite your body to the party. We're always having a little yoga party. Invite your body to the party. And when we stretch, you're just inviting your body to come along and asking your body, what does it need from you? So let's check in. Let's take 3 breaths. Breathing in. And breathing out, right down to your toes, from your nose to your toes. Let's go again. Breathe in. And out. And breathe in. And breathing out, let it all go. Wonderful. Alrighty then, we're going to start from the toes, work up to our nose. So just bring your knees together, roll yourself over onto your side, use your hands to push up. And you're going to come over on your knees and hands. And the first thing, we're going to start with our gorgeous feet that we stuff into shoes all day long. And they get stiff and they lose their senses because they're never touching the ground. So spreading out your toes, and you're going to lean back so you come up, and then you're sitting up, heart open, and just sink into your feet, your beautiful arches. Feel your toes spreading wide. Our toes are meant to be separate and apart and feeling on the earth. Oh, yow. Just breathe into it if you've got any real major pain. If it's really painful, don't come as far up. Just stay on your hands and just go to what feels really good for you. All right, let's do a tiny little bit of groove into our ankles now. So coming down, putting your hands down, take a nice big breath in, and as we breathe out, we're going to flip the knees up and roll over onto the feet. So we're in this little squatty position, feeling our heels drawing down towards the mat, but we're actually doing our Achilles here. So if you want to have a little bit of a balance up on the toes, and just feel like you're just sinking your heels and you feel those Achilles coming into it. A little bit of pressure through the front of your ankles, feeling glorious already. Alrighty, back down onto our hands, and we're going to drop back down onto our knees. And this time, how about floating our right foot forward? We're going to take a big breath in. We're going to move up into our hips now. And as we breathe out, lead with the heart. And see if you can dig in here. Really sink in. This one's called half moon. If it feels good for you, you might want to stay on the hands if it's a bit strong. But we're going to go for a big, super deep stretch today. So if you want to go a bit deeper, hands on your knee and just lead with your heart. Just go where your body says feels really good for you right now. swap over to our other side. So actually no, we're going to float the hips back. We're going to stay with the legs for a minute. Now we're just going to flip toes to the ceiling, staying on the hands, and if you want to slide that leg a little further forward, we're going to move into our hamstrings a little bit. And we're stretching into this, so waiting, just the weight coming forward, see how that feels. All right, and if it's feeling good for you and you want to stretch a little bit further forward, you can keep sinking in, keep staying with your hands. See what feels good in your body. And we're waiting, we're breathing, we're patient, yeah? Very slowly. When you're coming up, you just come back through the knees and just float that leg back. Spin it around, and guess what? Let's do it on the other side. Let's keep balanced. So the first one is our half moon. Stay on the hands, take a nice big inhale. And we're just going to float the hips forward, get into these hip flexors. So when we do the big, deep, super stretch, you want to take your time. You want to spend a couple of moments just sinking in, seeing how that feels. That little bit of pressure on your ankles. And then if that feels good, we can then pop the hands if you want to drop in a little deeper. And just check it out. See what happens. Beautiful. We're coming all the way back up now, and we're going to flip those toes and do our hamstrings at the back. So this may be enough for you to come into this position, keeping this foot flex, the toes to the ceiling. If you want to take it a little further, you might be able to just scoot the heel a little further forward. And over time, you can scoot that back leg back a little bit until you can feel you're starting to feel how your body might sink all the way down. And you just breathe into it. Notice what feels right. Good. And slowly sliding it all the way back up. Come over onto the knees. And let's just take a tiny little bit of respite all the way down into our beautiful child's pose, sinking in, checking in, seeing if we're still doing all right. Let's stick with the hips, coming back up onto your knees and your hands, and we're going to move into one called pigeon now. So you're going to bring the right foot forward and we're going to walk it out to the side. Hands in front, keeping your foot flexed. You're going to reach down, so you're resting down along the front of that leg. Send your left leg back as far as feels good for you. And inhale up. Ooh. Welcome to your hips. Here they are. You might just stay on the hand. See how it feels. Take a couple of breaths here. If it's feeling good, you might feel like you can sink a little further forward. Maybe even down onto your elbows. If that's feeling good, you might just want to sink the head a little bit and just drop in. Your job is to be able to be where you are. If your body is screaming at you to hop out, then you need to adjust yourself. You need to have the ability to be comfortable, to remain in pose. All right, coming up, see if you can walk yourself back up, heart open. We're going to bend up at the back of this left leg, and with your left hand, you're just going to reach back and just see if you can feel like you just, what muscles, just let you bring that foot in. And oh, hello to all those muscles that get a bit tired and a bit stiff. Shall we leave that one there? All right, we're going to swap over and do the other leg now. So we might have a little stretch, push back onto that left foot and send our right leg back down onto our knees. Left foot, let's try the other side and make sure we balance both sides. So just heel toe it, keep the foot flexed, dropping down onto that front of that left leg. Right leg, stretch it back as far as feels comfortable. Doesn't matter only matters what feels right for you here. So staying on your hands perhaps, you can sink into that. Take a couple of breaths just to sink, waiting for your body. Down onto the elbows if that feels nice. You might come all the way down. You might want to send the arms out. The point of it being just getting into that really deep, luscious feel of the muscle when the muscle takes over your brain. So all you can do is feel, which is part of what our practice is. Let's see if we can bring up that right lower leg, and you can just, as you feel good, see if you can draw it in. Beautiful, those muscles. You can feel them, can't you? That blood flowing in and waking up. Let's go all the way back onto the hands, tucking our toes under, and we're going to push ourselves back. And let's glide those hips up. Feels good to take those up into our first downward dog. And just really ooze ourselves. You have a little wiggle of the bum, looking up, and we're going to drop back down to the knees and big toes together. We're going to come and sit up. I'm going to turn around so you can see me really well. So we're sitting on the legs now. A little bit of Viraj, and I'm going to do a couple of variations here. So just hands on the knees, opening the heart, and just getting that, waking up the legs, the feet and the ankles from those big stretches that we just did. Good. And then from here you can just use your hands. You're just going to curl yourself and tuck yourself until you're sitting forwards again. Now we're going to take this right leg and we're going to fold it out to our side. Now if you feel like you're like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, you can just use your hand and just adjust yourself until you feel nice and fluid. If there's any pain or pressure, grab a blanket, roll up your mat, grab a cushion and pop it under your hip. Use your hands where you need to. This may be enough for you. If it feels good and your body says it's good for you, you might feel like you want to just slide on forwards just a little bit. Stay tactile with your hands so you feel yourself and you know you're in control and you can do what feels right for you. Alright, so nice. Let's swap over the other leg. So unfold that right leg and we're just going to fold this left leg back. So we're not sitting on it, the heel's just next to the hip. If you're doing the tip, just right yourself up again. Normally just lifting up the hips and tilting forward helps. This may be enough if you want to pop something under that right buttocks if you need to. If it feels good, you'll know because you're listening to your body and your body tells you if this feels right for you to flow forwards or not. So this is bringing our spine into the party. Use your hands when you're coming all the way up. Oh, gorgeous. Our hips are singing, aren't they? You can feel them almost vibrating. All right, let's stick with working into the hips. We'll keep moving up. Coming up, this time how are we going to get into this one? Yes, we'll come up onto our knees and our hands. And you're going to take your right leg and float it around your left knee. So we're coming in, can you see that? Coming in front. See if you can feel like you can just flip your feet out to the two sides and just have a little go with this one. See what happens. Stay with your hands wherever you need to. And see if you can come in. You've got the knees stacked. It's a little bit of cow face pose, this one. Beautiful. I think we'll stay with the hips here. Oh no, let's do our arm variation. We'll go up into the shoulders, sure. Right arm up to the ceiling, palm around and reaching back. And left arm travelling out, palm up to the ceiling and keep retracting it all the way back. Perhaps seeing if you can catch your fingers and hold on to your fingers behind your back. Breathing into this one, really feeling those deep muscles stretching. If it feels good and you feel like you would like to stretch a little bit further, you can take it folding forward slightly. And let's breathe our way all the way back up again. Let our arms unfold and let's use our hands to help unfold. So starting from a kneeling position is somewhat easier. So stay on your hands. I'm just going to show you so you can see it. So we're going to send this left leg around. Shoot our feet out. So we've got our knees stacked and sitting into that, dropping the sitting bones. You might just remain here. This may be more than enough for you. Alrighty, if that feels good, the left arm travelling up, turning the palm around behind you and bending at the elbow. This right arm swoops up behind us until we can catch hold of our fingers. And we just sit into that. We feel those muscles for a while. If it feels good and you want to get into that deep, deep stretch, have a little go at folding forwards. And very slowly, head comes up. Let those arms, feels amazing. And very gently unfolding your legs and coming back into nice easy cross legs. All right, wonderful. How are you going out there? Shall we stay with the hips just for a little while longer? I've got a couple more things I want to do with your hips with you. So we might do one, this one's called the fire log pose. Bringing both legs out, just go nice and steady with this one. With your left leg, so you're going to let the foot drop out to the side and bend it in so it's sitting in front of you. This is sometimes called the square pose as well. Keeping this foot nice and flexed, we're going to do the same thing with this right leg. So try to feel like your hip is just rolling open. Pick it up and stack it up on top like a log, two logs in the fire. All right, this may be enough already. Woohoo! Breathe into that hip. You can feel it, yeah? Keeping your feet flexed. If it feels good and you feel like you might want to just cat stretch it forward like a cat. See how that feels. You might just want to sit in and go as far as it feels right and then breathe into it. Woohoo! Those hips are singing now. Or maybe they're calling, or maybe they're yelling. Whatever, however you want to interpret that. Let's swap it over, do the other side. So use your hands, help yourself. Come back to this position that helps you rotate through your hips. So we're going to take the right leg in first. We're going to try to turn it out and we're going to slide it in with a little bend in the knee. Keep that foot nice and flexed. Then we do the same thing, left foot out. So that hip is opening up. Use your hands wherever you can and stack them like two logs in the fire. Or you might notice one side a bit tighter than the other. Yep, I can. Sink into it. This may be more than enough. There's no need to have to go any further. If it feels good for you and you want to creep forward and go really deep into that stretch. Watch what happens when you breathe into it. Ooh-wee. Gorgeous. And watch what happens when we release. So notice how it feels now. So much more fluid, isn't it? All right, have a little go at this one, you guys, and then we'll be done with our hips high on your sitting bones. Flexing through the feet, go whatever feels right for you. So as you inhale, keep your heart open. And as you exhale, follow your shins. Just be tactile, just the weight of your hips rolling over your legs, the weight of your shoulders, the weight of your head. Just feels like you're inviting yourself to slide all the way forwards. Nice and steady. And feeling that delicious, delicious release. So it's that feeling when you come up head first and then the heart, that feeling of when your muscles feel so tight. And particularly we've got a kind of a gold day today, so the muscles are super tight, but that unbearably delicious feeling of the muscles just going all warm and gorgeous. All right, coming all the way back up. We're going to want to get into the spine and the heart. Now, how are we going to do this? Let's come round and we're going to do two things. We're nearly done and then we'll almost be finished. So I want you to curl yourself down back where we started, We started somewhere here. You're going to have your knees bent. Lift those shoulders and let them drop back down onto the mat. And as you inhale, you're going to press your feet into the mat. And just let your hips float up. And we're going to hold this. This is the bridge. We're going to hold this and just feel that blood coming up, stretching out the shoulders, stretching out those upper back muscles that get super thick because they've got to hold our head up all day long. And as you exhale, just float with that delicious feeling of floating those hips back down. Gorgeous bit of twisting in here. Let's take, actually we'll do it one leg at a time, so stretching both legs out to the mat. As you inhale, hug your right knee in, let it just roll through that hip, make sure it's got some movement, and then we're going to bring it over to the side. So we're undoing our stretching now, cooling down from an exercise perspective, from a yoga perspective. We're just balancing out, so we're not left with tight, stiff muscles. We've been taking all that tension out the whole time by stretching deep into the tissues. So left knee coming up, give it a little roll out to the side, so just see how that feels. Back up and holding on with your right hand. And we're just going to smooth it across. Releasing as we go, feeling that full connection all the way from your spine to the top of your head. And inhale all the way back up. Let's pull both knees up. Glorious. And we deserve this one so much. We're just going to stretch the legs out. Right leg and left leg. Palms facing up to the ceiling. And we did it. So I want you to have a huge sigh to your body. A big smile to your incredible body. And we're just going to let it be now. Let those muscles go beautiful and soft now that they're all nice and warm. And they're beautifully stretched. And that deep, deep, super stretching, that deep tissue stretching. Notice how incredible it feels. You feel fully rejuvenated, full of vitality. You can almost imagine, if you've got your eyes closed, you can almost imagine all of your muscles just lit up like a carousel, lights flashing everywhere. Everything's going ping, 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 as your body has come to this little gorgeous party that we've got going on here. Our party of self hands at the heart. And when you feel ready, take your time. If you want to stay there, that's always okay. It's the beauty of home yoga. But if you're coming up, let's just finish the way we began. What a perfect little circle we've made. Let's just take 3 breaths. Breathe in and breathe out, right down to your toes, washing it all away. Here we go. Breathe in and out. Sinking in. Last one. Breathing in and out. All the way to your toes. And feeling absolutely amazing. Namaste. Thanks for the super stretch. See you tomorrow.